So this is what we got today. We got about 8 inches of snow last night, another 8 inches the night before that, and we're expected to get a foot today. So I'm working on my four-wheeler. It's a Polaris, a Sportsman 550. I got the plow on it, which helps out really good during the winter. But I'm gonna put a bumper on the back, and eventually I'm gonna make one for the front, but I'm starting off with the back. And I'm gonna make it out of some of this pipe that I have over here. Here's a piece left over. And it is, looks like 1 1.25 inch steel black pipe, which is basically used for gas lines. I could have used DOM, but at $200 for a 10-foot piece, it's kind of pricey. And I know I can buy a back bumper for around $200 on eBay. I'm not sure how thick the steel they use. I'm sure it's pretty cheap. And this at least has a 1/8 inch wall. And what I did was I've already started off already. I should have probably already started making the video on how making the bends, but what I did was I started off making this bend right here, which will go along the back like that, and then that piece which goes along the bottom, and then I'm going to make another piece that connects from here to there, and either cap it off right here with some plate or just connect it up to here and cap off the round part. I don't know yet. And I gotta find the angle that I need, and basically what I'm doing is I'm putting this here, and that's about the angle that I need right there. And that'll connect up to right there. It's pretty good. And used my Harbor Freight bender, this guy, to bend the steel or tubing, and I had to modify the die so it won't kink the tubing. Basically, that's all I did was put that in there, put this piece underneath right there, and then each of these pieces goes underneath here so it doesn't bend the pipe. It can make some pretty good bends. I did screw up already, and I bent this pipe. As you can see, it bends it really good. Once it got to the end of the die right here, it started to kind of leave a dent inside the steel right there. But this is a pretty good bend. This is over 90 degrees, it looks like. And I use this to make the notches in the tubing, which again is a Harbor Freight product. I love Harbor Freight. And the only thing I had to do to modify it was to put these bearings in here, which I got at my hardware store, which are bronze bearings, and I put one on the bottom and one here, and I just had to open up the hole a little bit and press it in, and it works better than the original bearings that are in there. And to weld it, I used my Eastwood TIG welder, and I just got it, so I'm still learning how to do welds, as you can see, but I've only had it for a month or so. But I guess some of these welds aren't too bad. Then the thing I like about the TIG welding as opposed to the MIG welder is there's not a lot of spatter. Leaves a really nice clean finish on there, and I don't have to go back and grind it and do a lot of finish work on there. So the next step is to connect the piece from there to there, and then also got to figure out where I'm going to mount it, or how I'm going to mount it to the ATV. Alright, so here's where I am on the bumper, the rear bumper. I went ahead and welded on this piece right here. There was a matching one on the other side. And this piece, I'm going to probably put a couple of pieces of plate right here to give it some strength, and also put a hole in it so I can put some tie downs. Either right there or right here. I haven't figured that out yet. And then right here was going to debating on whether putting just a piece of plate like this or just a straight pipe like that, but I wanted to make it look a little bit more finished, so I'm going to put made a bunch of pie cuts in the pipe, which will kind of round it off and go like this. It's a little bit more welding, but I think in the end it's going to look a lot nicer. And then the other thing I have to do is put the mounting tabs, and that will be later. Here's the all the pipe cuts tacked in place. Gave it that nice rounded look. Couldn't get that type of radius on the tube bender that I have, so I think this just makes it a lot nicer than just putting that straight piece of pipe on there. Now I'll put some of my custom booger welds on there. There it is, all welded up. Got both sides done. Only thing I need now is to get a couple of pieces of plate here and there with a hole drilled right inside to so I can put tie downs and stuff like that. It's coming out pretty nice. Alright, so I cut out the pieces and I kind of just put them on here before I welded them up to see how they were going to look, and I don't like it, so I'm not going to put them on. Just going to leave them off, and if I need to put a tie down on it, I'll just wrap it around there or here, and there you go. So I guess the next thing is strip it and paint it. Here it is, ground down. I grounded down all the welds around the bottom here and the sides. Made it a little bit smoother. There's still a little bit of pinholes that I'm going to probably just fill in with some Bondo before I strip it completely and then paint it. The only thing that I do need are the mounting tabs that are going to go back here and here to attach it to the ATV. It's a really piece of rugged hardware here. It's going to hold up pretty well. The only thing that I'm wondering is how I'm going to attach it here and here. I know there's a couple of mounting points on the top part of the ATV down up, like right here and right here, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, the two pieces that are mounted on the bottom, because I've seen pictures of other bumpers and they only have the mounting hardware down here. I think just to make it a little bit stronger, I'll probably put one here and maybe one here and one right here. We'll see. Alright, so I moved it outside, started to actually ground off the coating on all of the tubing, and mounted the tabs. I'm still debating on whether to mount the two that are right here and right there. After I mount it, then I'll see if I'm going to need those. Now what I'm going to do is drop a little bit of body filler in these little holes that are inside here, make sure it's all nice and smooth, sand it up, and then primer it and coat it black. Here's the first coat of primer on there. I smoothed out after I did the filler on the ends here, sanded it all, made it real nice and smooth, filled in all those little crevices and pinholes that were in there, and I used filler primer, a high build, so it'll fill in a lot of the scratches and other little things that are in there. And I'll probably give it another coat. I'll probably sand it first, sand it down a little bit after it dries, and then give it another coat of primer, and then do the first coat of color. Alright, it's on. Okay, looks like everything lines up, and use some grade 8 hardware to put it on with a locking nut on the bottom. It's the cleanest thing on the ATV. Still need to wash it from doing all the plowing this winter, and I'm hoping it'll hold up. It looks like it's pretty strong. I used a 1/4-inch plate for the mounting tabs, and I also, like I say, I used the grade 8 hardware to make sure it was nice and strong to hold it together. I was thinking of putting a bracket here to there so it wouldn't move. I mean, there's just a little bit of play in there, not much. And now that this is done, I'm gonna make the front bumper. Now that one's going to be a little bit more involved because I got to make room for the plow and the winch and everything else. But I'm probably going to run a piece from all the way around here and down here, and then run down one tube all the way around here, because the mounting points, there's one right here down at the bottom and one right here. And I'll use some expanded metal like this. This is plastic, but I'm going to use expanded metal on the front end right here as well. And that project is next.